Hi guys, welcome back to Culinary Medicine for Everyday Living. I'm Amy and today I'm going to make a turnip vegetable dish, otherwise known in India as Shalgum ki SABZI. So I think this is the first time actually I've ever prepared turnips. And one of my favorite things about springtime is the CSA starting up. CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture. So at your local farmer's market or visit online, look up your Community Supported Agriculture and you pay up front, which funds the farmers, and the participating farmers throughout the set time each week delivers vegetables, fresh vegetables, whatever is ready for harvest. And you get a killer deal on organic vegetables and you're supporting your local farmers. It's a win-win for everyone. Today, or this week in my basket, I got turnips. And with the turnips, they sent a recipe. So if you look here, I have everything set up. So when you're preparing a meal, it's a good idea to get everything set up in your kitchen so you're set up for success. You read the recipe, you know what you need to do, right? So today, and then I lined everything up in order that I will need it in my skillet. So today I have fresh ginger, grated ginger, 2 cloves of minced garlic. The recipe called for cumin seeds and I wasn't able to pick those up today, so I'm just going to use, I think this is this is a teaspoon of cumin. The recipe will be posted in discussion, so I may not be accurate on the measurements here. This was definitely a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder and a 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder. Then I have my turnips, which I diced up, you can see there. And then at that point, when you add the turnips is when you add your salt. It's salt to taste. Always start with a little, and then if I'm serving it, that allows the people having the dish to add to it. We have a 1/4 cup of water, filtered water here. Diced tomatoes. This was supposed to be a 1/4 cup. I used 1 large Roma tomato. I love tomatoes, so I didn't think a little extra would hurt. This probably ended up being about a 1/2 cup. Then I took the greens of the turnips, and the recipe calls for those to be cut into ribbons about 1 to 2 inches. So you just slice your greens up in ribbons, ready to go. Then we have garam masala seasoning, which you can pick up at your local grocery store, and then coriander, which these seasonings go in. And then at the very end, we're going to use farm fresh cilantro that I got in my basket to, I'll chop this up and use that as a garnish. So, all right, are you ready? Let's get started. Okay guys, so here's my stovetop. This is a really fast recipe. I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in my pan right now. The recipe just called for 2 tablespoons. I didn't measure it. I just put it in. I'm heating it on medium heat, and you do not want your vegetable oils ever to go to a smoke. You don't want to see smoke, so keeping that heat low is super important. The oil is now hot. The recipe calls to put the cumin seeds in first. However, because I'm using cumin powder, I'm going to start with the ginger and the garlic first. And then I'll add the cumin and other spices. So I'll put this in, and we're going to cook this in the oil for about 2 minutes, which I'll use my timer just to make sure. So 2 minutes of cooking the ginger and garlic. Then we'll add the spices, cover that for another minute or 2 before we add the turnips. Again, this recipe has you add some of the spices in at the beginning and then you finish them with more spices. So and I'm just making sure that I move the ginger and the garlic around so that we don't have it burnt. You know, there is a little browning going on. Medium heat again, actually a little bit below medium. Might even turn it down a little bit more. Just want to be cautious that I don't cause my oil to smoke, because that destroys the fatty acids that are healthy for you otherwise. Once you start seeing smoke, it's not good for your body. And if you're not, this is a vegetarian dish. I'm using, vegetable oil. However, if you use naturally raised, I'm going to turn that timer off. You can use naturally raised animal fats. I sometimes use beef tallow. I'm going to add the cumin now and then give that a twirl around. But the animal fats, definitely, such as grass-fed butter, definitely look for as high percentage. If you can find 100%, buy that. The grass-fed cows that are naturally raised, 100% on grass. Now I'm going to add the cumin. Their bodies are healthier when they're fed the diet they're supposed to eat. And if they're healthier, that means their tissues are healthier, which means their fat is healthier too, and better for our bodies if we are animal consumers. That's a carnivore. We're carnivores. So now I just added the chili powder. So again, I'm just kind of moving it around in the pan to make sure it doesn't burn, and give it a good mix. This looks amazing. We have ginger. We have fresh garlic, fresh ginger. We added cumin, a little bit of turmeric, and the chili powder. So at this point, I'm going to add my turnips and make sure that they get covered well. I'm going to sprinkle the salt on, give that a good mix. I used about a half a teaspoon of salt. So at this point, a quarter cup of water to help this process. There we go. I'm going to put it back up to medium heat now, and that's just steam. So once we get the turnips covered here, we can cover this and let it simmer for 5 minutes. Set that timer and wait, then I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. 5 minutes have been up. We're looking really yummy here. So let's just give it a stir. A lot of that water you can see is already cooked out. I'm going to check the tenderness of my turnips. Let's taste one. So this is completely up to you. There's a little, some people might like them a little softer. We're going to have a couple more minutes cooking once I add the tomatoes and the other seasoning. I think they're a good consistency to me, so you definitely want to taste that and decide yourself. It's delicious, by the way. So at this point, tomatoes in, turnip greens as well. The garam masala seasoning will go in next. Yep. And a little coriander to the mix. I just love Indian spices. They're delicious. So I'll just give this a little stir. Give it a nice turnover. Mix it all together for about 2 minutes. Just let it, give it a mix, let it cook a little bit more. So this is called a vegetable turnip dish. And there you have it. That's it. Pretty much finished. So I'm just going to serve this up in a bowl. Sprinkle the cilantro as a garnish. Probably add a tiny more salt just to bring out the spices, the flavor of the spices a little better. And that is it. Dinner is served. All right, guys, so I just served this up. There you go. It looks delicious and tastes amazing. So today's big takeaways really was setting yourself up for success while you're cooking. Get your ingredients ready, lay them out in the order that you're going to need them and use them, and then just go for it. Have fun in the kitchen, try out some new vegetables, try out new recipes, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.